Namaste ji. Today now we discuss characteristics of third house in astrology. If you like this information, please like, share this video and subscribe my channel. Characteristics of third house in astrology. The third house in Vedic astrology manages articulated expressions and one's preferences. Thus, a favorable placement in this house and of the third house lord can enkindle artists, singers, authors, and so on. It also governs transportation and early education. The third house rules what you know about your surroundings. This includes information, knowledge gains through travels. Since you learn so much as a child and you practice expressing yourself, this house also rules early education. The third house is a place of brother and sisters and all relatives and family members that our genetic material is not in closest connection to. It represents our mind, our way of thinking, writing, and reasoning in a way, speaking of our human, rational side that makes us smart for practical or less practical in the issues of life. This is a house greatly influenced by element of the sign it falls into as it strongly relates to emotions when it begins in a water sign, proactive fiery thoughts when in fire, practical side in earth, and social contact in air signs. Basically, the third house is a living room of interesting ideas where every brief chat, new dance, and funny phrase has the potential to catch on as an inside joke or social trend. Turn keep in mind that just because an idea is passed with confidence from an older brother or a charismatic friend does not guarantee its truth. In this ever evolving living room setting of the mind, visitors learn the art of communication, entertainment, and simplistic social bonding. Philosophical speaking, without expression, our egos or sense of self may cease to exist. The third house represents how we begin to feel united with others, our instinctual icks, and our intuitive preferences. As the scene of our siblings, peers, and early childhood figures shine their light on us, our sense of self and how we communicate is funneled through their social differences and similarities. Being associated with the zodiac sign Gemini places on the swiftness in which we developed our third house tricks, treats, and quirks. Third house represents how you receive and comprehensive rapid information. See it as a prompt to consider how nimble you are. For example, if you have Saturn in the third house, perhaps you control benefit from considering how quickly you decide to adopt new catchphrases and behaviors. Accidentally saying a phrase out of content and inappropriately could cool points. With Saturn in the third house, the astrological message might be that as astonishingly swift as Mercury is, you gain wisdom from slowing down the process. Have you ever heard the question, if all your little friends jump off the bridge, are you going to jump too? Please tell me this is not just a black mom think lol. The moral of that question outlines how Saturn in the third house can be an absurd strength. Some of your friends or haters might call you slow or joke about how you live under a rock, but you receive the universal gift of critical thought. You are not going to dive into a bad situation just because everyone else is doing it. Another planetary example is the Sun in the third house, which basically means that you are the subject of quick trends and communication. Perhaps you are frequently copied or are the trendsetter of your friends' groups. A transiting planet within your third house is akin to having a visitor chilling in your living room. You know they are going to leave eventually, but while you are there, you start picking up and potentially appreciating their vibe. For example, let's say you know that Venus is coming over. If you are introspective, cosmetic, cutie, then you know you should probably cleans up your astrological living room by observing third house themes unique to you and getting yourself in order. When studying planetary transits within your third house, it helps to know about the planet paying you a visit. Venus is the planet associated with beauty and love. Therefore, once she enters your living room, you can expect to reflect on how you have learned to flirt, ideas gained from siblings that inform your perspective on dating, and that sexy little you do with your face because you causally picked it up during locker rooms talks. In the Prashna Kundli, the third house gives accurate answers to all the questions. It serves as the Karya Bhava for. Let's understand it through one example. Suppose you want to know about your relationship with siblings, the astrologers will create the Prashna Kundli based on this question. In the relation of Prashna is with the siblings, therefore, the third house will serve as the Karyabhav and its lords as Karesh. Here we will see the relations association between Lagnesh and Karesh to know the outcome of the query. However, here Mars is also the Karaka of siblings. If the ascended Lord, third house, third Lord, and Mars are auspicious and located in a strong position, you will share a good relationship with your siblings. Your relationship will become stronger as the houses and planets in the birth chart are strong. If these may affect your relationship with your siblings. If your Lagnesh happen to be Mars itself, it is considered benefic. We can obtain the answers to other questions related to this house through the sum method. The questions must be related to the house and its significance. The third house signification will play here. The significance of the third house is short distance travels, constant changes or transfers, art or craft. The same rule will be followed for question for short distance, journey or change. If moon aspects the third house or third lord, then your journey will be successful. The aspect of the moon in this concern is very important because it increases the chances of success of your journey. The third house is Prakrama Sthan. This itself says relax and action. The third house tells about your behavior, the kind of people with whom you grew up. The third house very much defines your personality. The third house tells about your behavior. The third house is 7 houses away from the ninth house. This clearly indicates you are known from your behavior. And what you are known for is your behavior. If the ascendant is the brain, the third house is your spinal cord. If a person want to get famous, they first need to check the strength of third house. Otherwise, they are a person with no foundation. Most of the time you find famous and capable people with strong ascendant and third house. If your third house is weak or not happy, then either you would be meek or have a bad behavior. Then nobody would be in favor of you and you would hardly get any recognition from your work due to your behavior. You may have a good job, but you would have a successful life. Now the third house is 8th house away from 10th house. This show the third lord placement can bring about change in career, whether good or bad depends on which house your third lord is stating, on which house your lord is sitting, whether they are happy or not. First point, Vat Dosh and third house. The third house governs communication, courage, and intellectual pursuits. It also connected with the throat and neck region, where Vat energy is active. Imbalance in this dosha can affect speech and self expression, highlighting the importance of maintaining balance through Ayurveda. Second point, Pitta dosh and mental clarity. Pitta is associated with intellect and skills, benefit for a balanced Pitta dosh, which enhances one's communication abilities. Third point, Kapha dosh and emotional stability. The third house also governs relationships with siblings and immediate relatives. A balanced kapha ensures emotional stability and harmony in these relationships with sibling and immediate relatives. A balanced kapha ensures emotional stability and harmony in these relationships, aligning with the house influence over personal bonds and communication. Understanding these connections helps practitioners of Vedic astrology and Ayurveda to align their physical, mental, and spiritual practices, achieving holistic wellness. The third house meanings are deeply interconnected with how one interacts with the world, how one takes action to achieve goals.